Welcome. Today we're jumping into a really cool topic, decision intelligence. We're going to talk about how companies can finally close that gap, you know the one, between having a great insight and actually doing something with it. All right, let's get into it. So let's just start with a really direct question. I want you to think about where you work. You're swimming in data, right? Dashboards, forecasts, endless reports. You've never been more informed. But are you actually more decisive? Because as we're about to see, being informed and being decisive are two very, very different things. For the last, decade or so, we've all been told the same thing. Get more data, build better models, and presto, better decisions will just happen. But here's the thing. Most big companies have kind of already solved that. They're drowning in analytics. So the real problem, the reason things still feel so slow, isn't a lack of insight. It's something else entirely. So if data's not the problem, then what is? Well, in this first part, we're going to pinpoint the true source of that sluggishness, what we're calling the real enterprise bottleneck. And here it is. The real culprit has a name: decision latency. Now, what's so powerful about this idea is that it completely reframes the issue. The problem isn't how long it takes to find an answer, it's how long it takes to go from having that answer to putting it into action. That gap, that delay, it's like a massive invisible tax on everything you do. And this slide breaks down exactly why that latency happens. And notice, these aren't technology failures, they're process failures. A decision gets bounced around in emails and meetings, that's your human handoffs. No one person or team owns it from start to finish, that's fragmented ownership. Your business changes by the hour, but the plan only gets reviewed once a quarter. That's a huge cadence mismatch. And then at the very end, someone still has to manually type the decision into a system. Every single step adds more time, more delay, more friction. Okay, so you might be thinking, but wait, we've spent a fortune on all these amazing advanced tools. Why haven't they fixed this? That's a great question, and it's exactly what we're tackling next. Let's look at why better tools fail. This quote really just hits the nail on the head. We go out and buy the best-in-class tool for forecasting, and another for planning, and another for optimization. And yeah, they're great at what they do in their own little silos, but they don't talk to each other. They never come together to behave like a single intelligent system. And the result of that is just more friction, not flow. So this is the key distinction we need to make, the difference between just stacking tools and building a true decision system. On the left, that's what most of us do, right? We just accumulate a bunch of disconnected tools. It might solve a specific problem for the finance team, but it creates headaches for everyone else. On the right, that's the goal: a coherent, integrated system that owns a decision from beginning to end and allows it to just flow. All right, so how do we actually build one of these systems? Is there a blueprint? Well, it turns out there is, and it's actually a pretty clear framework. So in this next section, we're going to walk through that blueprint, the decision intelligence stack. Now, this is the core model, and it's really important to see this as layers that build on top of each other, not a list of things to choose from. It all starts with machine learning to sense what's happening. Then it moves to optimization to calculate what to do. Then scenario modeling helps us reason about our choices. And finally, agentic AI actually executes the decision. Let's break each of these down real quick. So the foundation, layer one, is machine learning. You can think of this as the eyes and ears of your business. It's the nervous system. Its whole job is to spot patterns, predict what's coming, and raise a flag when something needs attention. It tells you what's happening, but, and this is super important, it doesn't tell you what to do about it. And that's where the next layer, optimization, comes in. This layer takes that prediction from the ML models and answers a very precise question. Okay, based on our goals and all our real-world constraints, what is the mathematically best thing to do right now? It's a powerful calculation engine, but its big weakness is that it kind of assumes the world is predictable, which, as we all know, it definitely is not. So, to deal with all that real-world chaos and uncertainty, you need the third layer, scenario modeling. This is where human strategy and judgment come back in. It's the what-if engine. It lets leaders play out different futures, compare different choices, and really understand the trade-offs before they commit to a path. It's the bridge from pure math to smart strategy. And that brings us to the top of the stack, the part that makes it all actionable: agentic AI. This is the game changer. It's not just another dashboard that tells you what to do, it's an execution layer that actually helps you do it. It takes the strategy and the plan, and within the guardrails you set, it carries that decision into action continuously. It adapts, it reasons, and most importantly, it learns from what happens to get smarter for next time. So, okay, we've got these 4 really powerful layers, but just having them isn't enough. The real magic, the breakthrough, is in how they all work together. So let's take a look at how the system works. This right here, this is the secret sauce. The power isn't in having a world-class ML model by itself. The magic is in the continuity. It's about these separate parts operating as one seamless connected system, where an idea can flow all the way from an initial signal to a final action without getting stuck in someone's inbox. And this is what that flow looks like. It's a closed-loop system that is always running. First, the system senses a change using machine learning. Then it reasons through the possible responses using optimization and scenario modeling. Then it acts on the best choice using agentic AI. And then, and this is the most critical part, it learns from the outcome and feeds that knowledge right back to the beginning of the loop. The system literally gets smarter with every single turn of this cycle. And this constant learning loop creates something totally new, a really powerful new capability we can call decision memory. Now, let's be clear, this is not just about logging more data. This is about remembering the entire story of a decision, the context, the why, the action taken, and what happened next. And when you do that, decisions stop being one-off events. They become reusable, compounding assets that build your company's IQ automatically. Okay, let's start to pull this all together. Making this shift to decision intelligence, it's not just about buying new software. It's a fundamental change in how a company thinks and operates. It's about finally building a bridge from insight all the way to action. This table just lays out the difference perfectly. The old way, what we call decision support, was all about making better charts and insights. The process was choppy, ownership was scattered all over the place, and learning was fragile. It depended on who was in the room for the postmortem. The new way, the decision system, has a totally different goal: enable better, faster action. The process is continuous, ownership is clear and end-to-end, and learning is structural. It's literally built into the machine. And so that brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at your own company, at the meetings you have, the tools you use, the way teams work together. Is your operating model really designed to produce more interesting analysis? Or is it truly built to turn knowledge into results? Is it built for insight, or is it built for action?